Hello. Does imposter syndrome sneak in all the time and you're like, go away, go away? Well, that's what today is all about. If you get imposter syndrome, it is not a sign that you are not ready, right? What it actually could be is a sign that you're stepping into a bigger version of your business. That's what today's topic is all about. How to squash that imposter syndrome. It's not going to go away. It's still going to rear its ugly head. But let's talk about some strategies on how we can push through. So, welcome to Strategy with Sally. As always, we're going to kick off with our theme song as we wait for people to join us. I'll be back in 3.5. And if you're on the replay, then you know what to do. You can scroll through 3.5 or just get your boogie on and let's dance together.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Welcome to Strategy with Sally. Let us know where you're joining from. Get those notifications out. Where are you tuning in from? On the live, or are you watching us on replay?
And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might
Hey,
mess
Sharon from
it
Brisbane.
up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up?
All the way from
Just
Pakistan.
shine.
Welcome to Strategy with Sally. What if imposter syndrome isn't a sign that you're not ready? What if it's actually a sign that you're stepping into something bigger, a bigger version of you and your business? Well, that's what today is, because I think so many business owners actually interpret that loud, I like to call it that itty bitty shitty committee, right? That inner voice as proof that maybe something has gone wrong. So you go to post maybe your offer, or you go to raise your prices, you are going to share maybe your opinion, or you go to launch something new, and suddenly that little itty bitty shitty committee goes, who do you think you are? Who experiences that? Let me know in the chat. And instead of actually then moving forward, you pause. You think, I need to tweak it a little more. Or maybe I should just rewrite it. Or maybe I should ask for feedback first. And then you start to check what everybody else is actually doing. And you tell yourself that you're just not yet there and you just need to get it right. Who feels familiar with that? Yes, Sharon's raising her hand. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of head nods. Well, what we're going to cover today is that there is nothing wrong, right? We don't want you to hide. We want you to look at how we can keep going even when imposter syndrome gets really loud, right? That little itty bitty shitty committee. We got to kick it off our shoulders. Now, how do we make it actually disappear? But we're not going to be able to make it disappear, unfortunately, forever. Now, it's not you're not going to become like this fearless person overnight either. But how do we actually stop it letting us make the decisions that stop us moving forward in our business? So let me know in the chat, who here actually knows that they suffer from imposter syndrome? How does it show up most for you? So let me know in the chat, how does it show up most for you? Is it when you try to get visible? Is it with your pricing? Is it when you try to sell? Is it when you're creating content? Is it you stepping up and being a leader? Or does it affect just decision making? Go on, get those tippy tap fingers and drop a word in the chat of where it seems to show up for you the most. All right, so Jenny's saying posting on Facebook. Sharon's like creating content. All right, so if it's been loud for you lately, type the word loud in the chat. If that imposter syndrome, that itty bitty shitty committee, that horrible thing is getting really, really loud. Yes. Well, welcome to Strategy with Sally. If we have not yet met, I'm Sally Sparks Cousins. I'm the founder of OmniSam, and this is where we're going to talk about, well, we talk a lot about practical business solutions and strategies and systems, and also the real behind the scenes things that help you grow your business without constantly feeling like you're winging it. And today's topic is such an important one because business growth does not always feel confident. Sometimes growth feels like doubt. Sometimes it feels like resistance, or sometimes it just feels like you overthinking everything. Or it may show up where you feel that you're comparing yourself to everyone else and deciding that they must know something that you don't know. And for business owners, imposter syndrome can quietly start to affect everything. It can stop you from making really clear offers. It can stop you from one of the most important things, from following up with people. It can stop you from charging properly, right? And I know this a lot when in the coaching field, we see a lot of coaches giving away their services, which we don't want to be doing. You know, one of the things I always say is you need to make money in your business. It is not a bad thing. The more money you make, the more choice you have. And if you feel that you want to help more people, will make lots of money in your own business so you can then go off and start a charity. But don't make your business the charity, right? Now, another thing that imposter syndrome can do is it can stop you from actually just standing up and sharing your opinion and your perspective on things. And it can stop you, this is the worst thing, trusting in your own decisions, right? And then you end up not finishing things because you think that they're just not yet good enough. So before we get into it, where are you watching from today? Let me know in the chat or where you're listening from. And honestly, imposter syndrome, that is something that I can tell you every business owner has dealt with at some time or another, right? Here's what I want you to do today. We're going to start to normalize imposter syndrome. The problem is not that business owners experience imposter syndrome, because honestly, most of us do at some point or another. The real challenge is that we believe it means something has gone wrong. Yes, hello itty bitty shitty committee. We think I must not be ready, or I need more proof, or I might need to go and get another piece of paper and more qualified, or I need to fix my branding first, or I'll launch when I feel more confident. Or I can't say that because somebody is already saying it better than me. But often imposter syndrome shows up when your identity is actually catching up to that next level of action that you need to take. You're actually stepping into something bigger, and your brain is trying to keep you safe. That's your brain's job. It tries to keep you safe by pulling you back into what feels familiar. So let me give you an example. You see, there was this business owner, and they know that they really, really want to help their clients. They've got loads of experience. They had 27 years of experience, lots of proof of people that they've worked with. They've created results and seen those results in people. But the moment they go to post about their actual offer, they would freeze. Now, not because they can't deliver, but because that visibility, that creates exposure. And suddenly, the thoughts that start running through their minds is, what if people judge me? What if nobody responds? Or what if somebody asks a question and I don't know the answer? Or what if I'm just not as good as I think I am? So instead of posting the offer, they go ahead and they think, oh, let's just tweak the graphic. Maybe we just rewrite that caption. Or maybe we should just go check what the other competitors are doing first. So they continue to tell themselves that they're just trying to get it right first. That's what they will tell. That's what they used to tell me in our coaching sessions. I just need to get this right. But underneath, it's actually fear dressed up as preparation. Once we dug deeper into it, we realized it was her fear of being judged or that nobody would actually respond. So, does this feel familiar to you? Let me know in the chat. Have you ever delayed something or called it preparation when honestly it was the fear that was showing up and stopping you from moving forward? Most business owners think the problem is actually confidence, or they think it's a skill set, or they need more proof, experience, or they just need to be more clear. And sometimes, yes, those things might need to be strengthened and, cleaned up, but often the real issue is not the capability. It's the interpretation of that little itty bitty shitty committee that's making you second guess yourself. So when we interpret that discomfort, that feeling as stop, we feel nervous and we decide we must not be ready. We feel that we're going to be exposed and we decide we must need more time. Or we feel that we're uncertain and we decide maybe we should actually just go back and rework and look at everything again. But what if that feeling is not actually the stop sign? What if it's just a normal signal that you get that allows you to say, oh, I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I'm making a decision, right? And you need to back yourself. You know, you're operating outside your comfort zone when you actually follow through. That is you doing something that may feel uncomfortable at the time, but more than likely is that thing that you need to do that actually will take you forward in your business. Now, that doesn't automatically mean that something's wrong when you feel it. That can simply mean growth. So instead of asking, instead of listening, to that itty bitty shitty committee, I want you to ask yourself, why do I feel this? You know, or more, actually frame it better. What is this feeling trying to protect me from? Has that a little amygdala kicked in? Fight, flight, or freeze? Right? I'm a freezer for sure, 100%. Definitely not a fighter. But what is it trying to protect you from? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear that nobody's actually going to reply or someone's going to, they never do, but you think they're going to call you a fraud, right? And then what is the next right action, even if that feeling stays? So you might be feeling uncomfortable. It might be scary, but I want you to then realize, what is it protecting me from? And even if that feeling is still present, how can I still move forward? What is that next right action? So today we're going to look at 3 things. First, how to separate fear from fact. Second, how you can stop making confidence an actual requirement. And the third is how to build evidence through action. So let's begin with point number 1, separating fear from fact. Now, when imposter syndrome gets really loud, your thoughts can feel incredibly convincing. Am I right? When that itty bitty shitty committee's going off, you're like agreeing with it. They sound like facts. The facts could be, I'm not ready. No one will listen to me. Everybody already knows this. I'm not qualified enough. People will think that I'm making this stuff up. Sometimes I might even think someone else is better than me, so why bother? But those are not facts. They are actually fear statements. And the first step is learning to separate what you feel from the actual truth. Because if you don't separate fear from fact, fear gets to make business decisions. And fear decides whether you post, fear decides whether you follow up. Fortune's in the follow-up, you know this. Fear decides whether you raise your price, whether you are going to launch, or whether you even decide to finish. Fear is not the best CEO for your business. Are we right? We don't want fear running the show. So here's a simple way to work through it. Ask yourself 3 questions. The first one is, what is fear saying? So for example, it might be saying, I'm not good enough to run this workshop. The second question, what are the actual facts? So maybe the facts are, I've helped clients with this before, or I've got a really clear process, or I really love and know this topic well, or I've solved this problem in real life. Now, the third one is, what decision would I make if I trusted the facts more than the fear? So maybe the answer to that would be, I would probably promote my workshop and prepare something very simple, right? Without this step, we actually start to spiral. We keep collecting all of these reassurances that we shouldn't move ahead instead of actually taking action. We ask things like, do you think this would be okay? Should I charge this? Does this sound silly, or is this too much? Will even people care? And we look for feedback that can actually be useful. But constant reassurance seeking of all of these things that are going to hold you back, it becomes this vicious loop that you get stuck in. So type the word facts in the chat if you need to start to separate what you feel from what you know is actually the truth. And have a think to yourself, what is one fear that has been making decisions in my business lately? Go on. What is one fear that has been making decisions in my business lately? All right. Let's talk about number 2. Stop waiting to feel confident first. I see this. It's so common. A lot of business owners believe confidence actually comes before the action. They think that when I feel more confident, sure, I'll do the thing. But in business, confidence often comes after the action. So you do the thing, and then you what? You survive it. You learn from it, and then you do it again. And that is how confidence grows. I call it your confidence muscle. The analogy I love to use here is like when you go to the gym. Not that I'm a gym person. My husband and my daughter love the gym. I will say I'm lucky to walk from the back of my house into my office most days. I have to do more. I'm going to get a walking pad under the desk. Anyway, I digress. But confidence is like when you go to the gym and you start a new exercise, and say you're lifting that weight, and you get home and there is that pain in that muscle that you've never really used before. But over time, that muscle gets stronger, and eventually you can do more at weights and more lifting. But it only builds through the actual action itself. If confidence is the entry requirement, you will just keep delaying the thing that you actually know you need to do to build confidence. You do not build confidence by thinking about it. You build confidence by showing up. You don't build confidence by endlessly planning. You build confidence by putting your offer out there. You don't build confidence by waiting for the system to be perfect. You build it by picking up the phone and following up, by using the system, by improving it, and then seeing what happens. You see, there are 2 types of things in regards to confidence that I really want you to think about. There's the emotional confidence. So that's the feeling of, I feel ready. And then there's the evidence-based confidence. That's when you know that I've done this before and I can handle it, and I can handle what comes next. You see, most business owners are waiting for that emotional confidence. But what they need is evidence-based confidence, and that evidence comes from taking action. So if you want to feel more confident selling, the answer is not creating a better sales page. Sometimes the answer is following up with 3 people, having a conversation with some people. Notice what questions come up when you speak to those people, and then you can improve it from there. Because when you wait to feel confident first, you're accidentally teaching your brain that the task is dangerous. Every delay that you make, your brain continues to feel that it's a bigger fear, so therefore it's going to try and protect you. Every time you avoid it, it makes it feel heavier. Every time you pull back, that itty bitty shitty committee, it gets more convincing. So, a quick check-in. Are you waiting to feel more confident before you actually take the step that you know really matters? Type in yes or a little bit, or you've absolutely called me out. Look, no judgment, okay? We've all done it. We've all been there. But I'm hoping after we get through today that you're going to step into something that you continuously keep putting off. All right, so let's move into part number 3, which is building evidence through small, specific actions. You see, the way imposter syndrome is, usually it's one of these, feels like a massive, brave leap, but it doesn't need to be. It just could be one small, specific action that you repeat consistently, enough that you start to create evidence, and that evidence that you're creating is what starts to quiet the noise inside that beautiful brain of yours. Now, not perfectly, but enough to slowly start to train it. You see, imposter syndrome itself actually thrives on vagueness. It really loves big, blurry thoughts like, I need to be more visible. I need to fix my business. I need to be more consistent. I need to prove it to myself. I need to get better at selling. You see, those thoughts, they're huge and they're too big to actually action. So you freeze. Instead, we need to turn that vague fear into a very specific but small next step. So where is imposter syndrome the loudest for you right now? Is it visibility? Putting yourself out there? Letting people see you on social media? Is it sales? Is it actually getting your ass into gear and telling people about what it is that you do? Is it pricing? Is it showing up as the leader? Is it in delivery of your offer? Is it in your content creation? Or maybe your decision making? Once you can choose one of those, then what you want to do is say, what is the smallest action I can take to that next step? Not the perfect action, the next small action. And then ask, what evidence will this action actually give me? Will it show me that I can actually be seen? Will it show me that I can follow up? Will it show me that I can handle questions? Or simply, it'll show me that I can finish something. So if imposter syndrome is really loud for you and you want to be visible, your small action might be create one clear post that you put out today, or go live for 5 minutes. Share one tiny client lesson. You could record a very simple 30-second video, right? Or you could comment meaningfully, my cold, I don't know if you can tell, I've got a cold. But you could comment on 3 posts. You know, if it is loud for you around selling, maybe that one small action could be send a follow-up or reshare an offer with somebody who showed interest, or ask one person if they would like more details. And if you're looking for things around, the outcome of your offer, you can start to really practice saying the price without over explaining. This is what I see a lot of time when I help people with their sales calls is they get to the price and then they just keep talking and keep talking and keep talking. One thing we teach you is to say the price and then stop because the next person who speaks, they lose. If it's really loud in that leadership area, your small action might be just to make a decision and then communicate that next step and then set some boundaries. And that's something for me that I'm personally working on all the time, setting boundaries and not just saying, oh, I might as well just do it because I can just do it quicker. Right? I've got to learn myself how to delegate better. So I want you to stop asking yourself permission for where you need to go and what you need to do. The key here is, what is the priority? Do not try to fix everything in every single area at once. Choose the area where the doubt is currently seems to be always costing you that momentum. What's that biggest area that seems to hold you back the most? And that is what I want you to focus on. You see, where is imposter syndrome costing you the most right now? So here's your options. I want you to write them down and then choose one. Visibility, sales, pricing, content, leadership, delivery, decisions. All right, I'll repeat them just one more time for you. Visibility, sales, pricing, content, leadership, delivery, decisions. Now, get those tippy tap fingers out for me and let me know in the chat, which is that one word for you. So moving forward, what I'd do, I'd skip things like allowing imposter syndrome to have to disappear or feel that it needs to go away before you actually move forward. You don't need to wait to be fearless. You do not have to wait to be in the perfect mindset in the morning to get the job done. You don't need to journal your way into total certainty before you actually take the next step. Support yourself. Yes, support yourself. But do not make emotional certainty the price of your progress. And here's what I'd stop doing. I would stop outsourcing self-trust to other people, asking them for their opinion, right? That can look like you asking everyone, what do you think? What should I do? Before you actually decide. Changing your content every time someone gives you feedback, rebuilding a new funnel, rebuilding a website, rebuilding your offer because somebody else has given you one comment, assuming that everyone else's confidence means that they're actually more qualified. They aren't. So stop looking for permission to take that step. You already know what it is. Okay? The thing is, feedback can be helpful. Support, sure, is also helpful. But constant permission where you're seeking for people to tell you it's okay to move forward, that is what's going to keep you stuck. And here's what I would do differently. I would build a simple evidence bank, right? Now, this might include client wins or kind messages people send to you, results that you've created, problems that you've solved, things that you've completed, times that you did something before you actually felt that you were ready, and proof that you can handle the discomfort. So every time you do something, even though you're uncomfortable, write it down. I have a folder in my Google Drive that I store all my testimonials and feedback and videos. So when I'm feeling a bit down, I go and have a look. We're getting a better list together of case studies to prove to myself that evidence bank of all the people that we've helped over the years. And I'm somebody who hasn't been great at getting case studies over all these years. I just keep helping and moving on. And I don't look internally at collecting all of this evidence stuff. So when imposter syndrome gets really loud, don't argue with it. Don't let it stay in your head all day. Go back into that evidence. You are allowed to be growing and still be credible, and you're allowed to be learning and still be valuable. And you can still feel really nervous and still be the right person to help that next client. Now, as we know, we always end with some GSD. So this is your GSD, something practical, because awareness is really helpful, right? But action, that GSD, getting shit done, is what will actually create movement. So here's your GSD for this week. Choose one area of your imposter syndrome that's been getting really loud. We went through that list earlier. Just one. Then I want you to choose the action that you will take in the next 24 to 48 hours. But I want you to keep it small and I want it to be specific. So it might be things like I will post my offer. I will make a follow-up call. I will record a video. I will publish the imperfect draft. I will make a decision. I will raise my price. I will invite someone to book a call. I will stop rewriting and I will just send it. I will write 5 pieces of evidence that shows that I can do this. And I want you to take action on that. Sitting here now, how long have we been running this for? 30-something minutes of your time. I want it to then turn into something. Continually learning and not taking action's not going to do you any favors. So for those of you who are here, put it in the chat. Get those tippy tap fingers out now. What's that one action that you're going to take that's going to move you forward, right? And if you choose this, it's going to help you to move even if you feel not yet ready. Even if that itty bitty shitty committee is kind of starting to chat with you, you're going to flick it in the head and they're going to do it anyway. Because progress over perfection, evidence over emotion, action over overthinking. You don't actually need to become a completely different person to move forward. What you need to do is to take that next step, just a small one, but let that step then start to create evidence that you can. You see, if imposter syndrome has been really loud for you, nothing has actually gone wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not cut out for this, and it definitely doesn't mean that you're behind, and it doesn't mean everybody else has something figured out that maybe you missed the memo on. It usually means that you are on the edge of growth. So the goal is not to feel as though you have to feel amazing. The goal is to stop letting it run your business. It's always going to be there. And if you know, excuse me, if you know that you need better systems, maybe you need better workflows and better support in your business, instead of constantly relying on your brain, then maybe we can help you with that part. But you need to take action, right? And OmniSam is here to help you with better systems and processes. But if you're not doing what only you can do to move your business forward, then all the systems in the world are not going to help you grow your business. if you're not taking action. Now, OmniSam helps you to build the right things in the right order so that you can create clearer follow-throughs and more consistency in your business. But if, again, you're not taking action, what's the point? If you want to learn more about OmniSam, just comment the word demo. We can shoot you out a demo. But this is what I want you to take away from today. I want you to take this idea that we've discussed and I want you to turn it into action. I want you to, that thing that you've been overthinking, avoiding, or circling around, let's get that moving, okay? So your job this week is not to feel fearless. It's to actually just take one clear step, even when that little itty bitty shitty committee is there, and prove to yourself that you can keep going. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us here on Strategy with Sally. We're going to come across to a couple of people in the room and let's get a what did you like best? Sharon, come on up. I don't know if my buttons are working. Yeah, that's working there. But then I don't know if my other button is working. Here. Awesome. Sharon, what did you like best?
To not doubt myself and to I don't need to wait to do things.
So what's going to be your one action that you've been putting off that you want to do moving forward this week?
I actually don't have anything at the moment because my funnel's done, my ads are done, everything's done.
Follow-ups. How about those?
Well, I haven't got my one. I haven't got anyone signed up yet, but yeah, I'm gonna send an email today. That's my one job.
Nice.
To send an email out about the
done.
the online event.
Well, I know last week we were talking about you and your funnel and getting it ready. So this week is all about how do we fill it. So this is where you're now going to start. Yes, we're going to hit the list. You're going to post on social media. You're going to make various content to tell people about it. If you start your ads, we're going to start those. So everything now should move from building. So if you think of the stages, you know, we've got see it, design it, build it, you're in the fill it stage now. So that should be where you put all your attention. Your IPAs should be all focused around that. Love it. Yay, I'm so proud of you, Sharon.
Thank
Jenny,
you.
come on up. What's one thing that you want to do and change this week after today?
So I did put it in the chat. I want to get ChatGPT to help me write 4 weeks worth of posts for my personal Facebook, and so that I can post one a day, have them organized so that it makes it easier for me to make sure I post on a daily basis.
Awesome. All right. And, you know, we've got the training around Canva as well that uses our Chloe AI that will also help you with that process. So if you don't have it, I'll organize to get that to you as well.
I used to have Chloe in there. I think she disappeared on me.
All right. Well, we will make sure that you get access back to her again because she's very, very helpful. I'll fix this scene up later. It's not doing its thing. Come here. Keeps disappearing. Awesome. All right. I'm just come on. Sorry. I'm just trying to fix it's not doing what I want it to do. I'm just going to fix it now. No, I'm going to do it later when we're offline. Fix it for later. Awesome. All right. Let's log out for the day. Thank you, everyone who did join us on the live. And for all of those who are on the replay, just drop replay if you've made it to the end. I'm really proud of you. And do follow through on what we talked about today, choosing that one small thing to take action on, even if that noise is really loud in your brain. I want to see you guys, get out of building. Start getting into that fill it and then measure and optimize when it comes to your business, because That is where real progress happens, when we're starting to move from building stuff to measuring and optimizing all the different 7 stages of the customer's life cycle. All right, as always, guys, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Head on over, if you haven't yet done so, the Strategy with Sally podcast has loads more quick tips and episodes. We do a long episode here that we record for the podcast every week, but we do lots of other quick tips and other strategies that we share only on the podcast. It's called Strategy with Sally. Very proud to say we got number 2 Aussie lifestyle podcast, Aussie women lifestyle podcasts this year. Previous years we've been in the top 10, but we made it to 2. Maybe next year we'll make it to number 1. And I know I'm getting really, really close to recording episode number 600 for the podcast coming up. So it will be a celebratory episode. I think it lands around July sometime. So we're getting close to 600 episodes on Strategy with Sally. That's pretty amazing. And we've had some awesome guests over the time. Maybe I've been thinking, what should I do on my 600th episode? Maybe a reflection about where we've come and what I've learned over all of these 600 episodes. Anyway, excuse me, I've got a cold. I did pretty well without coughing too many times through that. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get one income producing activity done every day, and every day be marketing. All right, have a great one, guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday, 10 a.m. on the live stream as always. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares?